Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Muse Report. In this episode, we're going to be talking about routines. Now, I know you've heard that word a lot, routine this, routine that, but specifically in this episode, we're going to be talking about morning routines, the do's, the don'ts, how to optimize your morning success, and then some routine tips on the back end of it. So if you haven't already, though, please just pause the podcast right now and go click that subscribe button so that you can be alerted whenever I release a new episode on iTunes. It only takes 2 seconds, I promise. And also to be updated on and inspired with everything Muse, follow us on Instagram. That's what I'm most active on right now, at muse.mentality. So you could do that. Keep in touch with me on Instagram. Hit me up in the DMs. Ask me questions. Make recommendations to make the podcast better. Things like that. I am available to you. Don't hesitate to hit me up. And lastly, please, if you like the show, support the show, want others to hear the show, leave a review and a rating on iTunes. The feedback helps me plan for future episodes, gives me an idea who's listening, and overall, it just encourages me to keep creating content. So if you could do that for me, just leave a review and a rating. I would greatly appreciate it. But with that said, we're going to get right back into this episode. So here we go. Okay, so routines. We hear this word all the time. There are all types of routines that we have on a daily basis. You have your work routine, class routine, free throw routine if you play basketball, exercise routine, dance routine. Routines are in everything, really. Routines actually are important for us because they form habits. So our bodies are like these super advanced computers that try to optimize our productivity while also maximizing our efficiency. So in other words, your brain is trying to perform functions without working so hard, basically. So habits allow your brain to go on automatic, and it decreases decision-making responsibilities for your brain. So basically giving your brain a break. This allows you to put that energy into other brain activities or other bodily functions. Pretty cool, right? So one routine that I really want to emphasize in this episode is the morning routine, like I said in the beginning, because morning routines really set the trajectory. Man, I'm having a hard time talk today. The trajectory for your whole day. Your morning starts your day, and if you start your day in a crappy routine or in a crappy fashion, it just snowballs into the rest of your day, and you never quite get your feet under you. You're just falling and tripping all over yourself throughout the day. So it's good to have a really efficient, productive, and maximizing morning routine. And most of us already have a morning routine. You may not think you do, but you probably do. Now, I don't know if all those routines are positive ones, but I'm pretty sure we all do close to the same thing every morning. So pressing your snooze button 3 times, waking up late, leaving your room a mess, not eating breakfast every day is not a positive morning routine. Or maybe you wake up on time, but you lay in your bed on your phone for 30 minutes, flooding your mind with events, chores, and entertainment. That may not be the best morning routine either. The point of a morning routine is to set your day up for optimal success. So you're probably asking, well, how do I set up my day for optimal success? Well, morning routines are completely based upon the individual, so I can't tell you exactly what to do because everyone is different. But from studying the world's top performers and those people who seem to be most fulfilled in life, there are a few trends that I think we could all catch on to that will help our morning routines and help increase the overall success of our daily lives. So we're just going to get right into these few tips, and I will get out your way, but hopefully you'll get a whole bunch from this episode. So it's about 4 or 5 that I really want to point out to you that you could take away and apply as soon as possible. So the first one is start the day with gratefulness. So I know a lot of us wake up and the first thought that comes to our head is like, oh, gotta go to work today. Oh, I gotta go to class today. Oh, I have so much to do and I don't have time to do it. And we start the day complaining or on a negative note. And that is the first way to just completely mess up your day. You need to start your day with positivity. So say what you're grateful for. And we all have things to be grateful for. Simply the fact that you just woke up, that's a reason to be grateful, because someone did not wake up that morning. So instead of immediately think of what you have to do, take a second to be grateful for something. And a great quote that I heard a little while ago says, people aren't grateful because they're happy. They're happy because they're grateful. So happiness comes from gratefulness, not the other way around. And you'll see that in life all the time. People who are the happiest are the ones who are the most grateful, because they see the value in the little things. So the next thing is super easy, but lots of people don't do it. It's make up your bed. Making up your bed starts your day with the automatic win. See, I stole this tip from Tim Ferriss of the Tim Ferriss Show podcast. If you don't know what that is and you care about optimizing your overall success as an individual or your schedule or things like that, overall human optimization, he's great to go to. You need to listen to that podcast. I'm plugging him for that one. But starting your day by making up your bed gives you a check off your list right off the break. We all have to-do lists that we want to get done throughout the day. Put more making your bed in the morning on that list, because once you do that, it's super easy. Boom, you're already starting your day on a high note because you've already checked something off and you already have a win for the day. And honestly, just seeing your room in order with a made-up bed makes you feel better. Makes you feel like you have at least one aspect of your life together. So that's something easy you could cross off and start your day with the win. The next thing is stimulate your mind and body. So, okay, I woke up, I said what I was grateful for, and I'm thankful for it, and it started me off on a positive note. Now I make up my bed, start the day with the win. 2 things already going on the right track. Now you need to stimulate your mind and brain, because most of us wake up, especially if we did not get proper rest that night, we're in that groggy phase between sleep and being alert. And one way to snap that out of that phase is to stimulate your mind and body. So what I do on a regular basis when I wake up for my morning routine is that I get out of the bed and I immediately hit the floor and I start to stretch. The stretching helps wake me up. It helps get the blood running through my body, and overall just makes my muscles feel better throughout the rest of the day. And I do some like yoga poses, some deep breathing to get my overall just body functions going and making me wake up a little bit. And the next thing I go into straight from my little yoga poses is meditation. And what I do for my meditation, I either am in complete silence or I listen to some very quiet music, and I just meditate on, again, what I'm grateful for. And basically, sometimes I don't think about anything. I just take deep breaths and I sit there. And really the point of the meditation I'm doing is not necessarily to zone in on thoughts, but to block out thoughts. So I purposely make it intentional. Now, this is kind of weird because I'm intentional about blocking certain thoughts out of my head that would distract me from getting to that zone that I want to be in. But by thinking about blocking those things out, you're thinking about them, right? So basically, I don't give myself time to think about what I need to do for the day. I don't touch my phone. I don't look at any notifications. I basically go straight into that so that my mind is completely clear and I could just spend that time to regroup myself and get myself ready to take on the rest of the day. What I also do in my meditation time is I read the Bible and I do a devotion. So, well, if you don't know what a devotional is, if you're not spiritual or don't read the Bible or a book of scripture or something, a devotional basically is something that breaks down the Bible into a way that most people can understand, because sometimes the Bible can be hard to understand. I mean, it's an ancient book. It wasn't written in modern vernacular, so you might not exactly understand what it's saying. So devotional could bring you through steps to help you understand it better. So I love doing that, starting my day off with God, because I'm a Christian, and I feel like that sets me on the right path for my day, starting the day with God and getting my mind straight. And it overall just helps my mood and makes me feel better for some reason. Well, I know the reason, but it really does help. And even if you're not spiritual, taking time to take a deep breath, breathe deeply, read, block out external stressors will just help your mood. Honestly, it will stimulate your mind because you're reading, you're doing something, you're breathing deeply. That's your physical state, and it affects your mood, and it just improves your day tremendously. I know it might sound a little zen hippie like, but just give it a try for a week and get back to me. Tell me how it has helped or not helped. You'd be like, oh, you're full of crap, Cleavon. It didn't work at all. But just tell me how it goes. I encourage you to give it a try, even though it might sound crazy. So moving on to the next one, what I do in my morning routine, and everyone's different. This may not be for everyone, but it's something that you can look into, is I take a cold shower in the mornings. I actually did hear this on a podcast. Well, I heard of it before that, but it's like for athletes or super incredible people. I don't consider myself that, but I really heard it from a normal guy on a podcast a few months ago, and he said he liked to take cold showers in the morning. I was like, what? Cold shower in the morning? Are you crazy? Like, you're getting out of bed, you want to be warm, you don't want to take a cold shower. But the way he broke it down, I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it. And basically I took a cold shower and it felt terrible. Like, I was freezing. My body felt like it was about to go into shock. I just got out the shower really tense, and I was like, well, that was some bull. Like, that did not work at all. I feel terrible. But I get it. I did it again just to, okay, maybe the first time wasn't it. And basically the point I'm trying to get to is now I have an alternate routine that I do for my cold showers because it works for me. So basically, what I do is I go into the bathroom, I cut the shower on, and I cut it up really, really hot so that the steam and the moisture in the room gets really hot, really steamy in there. And I get in the shower, but the water isn't necessarily falling on me. I'm in the hot atmosphere of the steam, but the water isn't really on me. So I pour the soap, I lather up or whatever, doing to take my shower, and then I turn on the cold water. I do this so that when you are rinsing yourself or you are in the cold water, when you come out of the water, you're not in a freezing cold environment. When you step out, the hot steam is still around you, so you could kind of feel like you're hot and cold. It's kind of, I guess we could call it an icy hot shower. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I'm about to brand that as my own, the icy hot shower. But the steam is still around you, so you're not freezing your butt off while you're in the shower. But it also gives you that jolt that you need to wake you up in the morning from the cold water. So basically that's what I do. And then when I go to finally completely rinse off and finish my shower, I turn the water back up warm, not necessarily piping hot, but back up warm, so that I'm not getting out the shower and chattering like an icebox, like I just came out of an icebox. So that's what works for me, and I hope you guys can take that lesson and see that I took something that someone else said worked for them, and I applied it to my own needs, what I felt worked for me, and made it into my own. So you don't necessarily have to do exactly what I'm telling you or exactly what someone else tells you. Try it out, figure out how it could work for you, and then apply it to your life, and then you can share it with somebody else, and that might work for them. But just don't take it as black and white. That's all I'm really trying to say. So the cold showers really help give me a jolt for the day, wake me up, wake my body up, get the crust out of my eyes. And also it just makes you feel a little different. It makes me feel like, I'm looking at you and I know you didn't take a cold, well, maybe they did, but I think you didn't take a cold shower this morning. I got one up on you. I'm different. I'm doing something that no one else is doing in the morning. I'm starting off my day a step ahead of everyone else. That's a psychological thing. That might be how you feel, might not be how I feel, but that's just how I feel about it. So lastly, what I do for my morning routine is while I'm preparing for the day, so that's like packing my bag for work or class or putting on my clothes, eating breakfast, driving to work. Let me stop on breakfast, please. I know it could be hard. You don't have to have a full gourmet breakfast, but eat something in the morning at a table. Don't eat like while running or driving or something like that. I mean, if you have to, you have to, but try your best to sit down, eat a good, healthy breakfast, balanced breakfast, some fruit, some grain, smoothie, yogurt, something. Because starting off your day with an empty stomach is not the way to go. That's a part of my morning routine, but that's just an automatic for me. I don't even include it as a step. Breakfast, you gotta have breakfast. But while I'm making breakfast, while I'm doing all those things, I'm listening to a podcast. I'm feeding my mind with new knowledge, learning new things, listening to what people have to say. And I just really love podcasts because you could do so many things while listening to a podcast. Like, I'm pretty sure right now while you're listening to me, you are doing something. You're driving your car, you're cleaning, you're writing. Well, maybe not writing, that could be a little hard. But you're doing something. You're cooking, you're putting away clothes, something like that, because podcasts are made really for multitasking. You don't have to be focused on one thing. When you're watching TV, you got to sit down, commit to watching TV. Well, you could do lots of other things, but it's really hard to pay attention. Or if you're reading a book, you got to sit down and read a book. But with podcasts, you can pretty much do anything you want while listening to the podcast. So I incorporate that every single morning. I listen to an episode of a podcast, feeding my mind, giving me some information that I'm just absorbing information at all times. So just a quick recap of what I go through and what I suggest lots of people should try to go through as a morning routine. Just some few things you can add, take out, omit some things if you want, apply it to yourself. But start off the day being grateful. Always start off the day with being positive and uplifting. Next, make up your bed. Start your day out with a win by making up your bed in the morning. Next, stimulate your mind and body. Read something, do some yoga, some stretches, so that your mind and body are stimulated and you're not in that groggy, angry phase when you first wake up in the morning. Then, take a cold shower, or take an icy hot shower, or take a piping hot shower, whatever one works for you and gets you in that awake mode. You're ready to go and conquer the day. Do what works for you. And lastly, while you're preparing for your day that morning, feed your mind. Listen to a podcast. Listen to my podcast. Listen to the Tim Ferriss Show podcast. There's a whole bunch of them out there. I'm sure you will find some that you will really fall in love with. But yeah, that's it for this episode. It wasn't that long. Hopefully you got some information that you can use and apply directly the next morning. In fact, I hope you listen to this in the morning and can apply it the very next day. So thanks for tuning into this episode of the Muse Report. It was just me on this episode. I was going solo on this one, but hopefully you took away some bits of knowledge. And if you like this episode and if you like the show, share it with somebody, tag it, post it on your Twitter, your Instagram, Facebook. Share it with the multitude so that we could get this information out to everyone. If you support what I'm doing and think that this show provides some type of value. So with that said, I think I'm going to sign off on this one so I could get some rest and start my morning routine tomorrow. See you guys next time.